What drives me to work with fabric? Fabric drives me to work with fabric. I love fabric. I love everything about it. I think I've always loved fabric, and I have way too much fabric.
What inspires you?
Everything. Absolutely. You can get inspiration from everywhere if you just keep your eyes open. It's just such a useful collection, backgrounds or as a whole collection.
My favorite detail from this collection, I have so many favorites, but I will show you that the main fabric, this is the painting that inspired it, but it has little hidden butterflies kind of mixed in with the florals, and I really, really love that. And I also love the rayons that we're doing with this collection. I have them right here behind me, and they are just so luxurious and fantastic. I cannot wait to sew with them.
I cannot wait to see what people create with these fabrics. My first and hopefully not last collection is called Illustrations, and it's really just that. They're my favorite illustrations that I have drawn over the years. This collection is going to be available, cross your fingers, in March.
This is the one with kind of chartreuse. This is on the dark blue colorway. I think this is my favorite colorway, on the dark blue of the hydrangeas.
What inspires you?
So for me, the ability to work with fabric and have these lovely colors and floral groups is a very inspiring thing. I think that nature inspires me on a daily basis, and the sounds of the birds that are chirping, the things that are growing, all of that is daily inspiration.
But there's something about fabric and being able to put a palette into the medium that you're then going to work with, going to quilt with, that really appeals to me. And the fact that fabric is then usable to make something that keeps people warm. I love the fact that it's art and that it's utilitarian. It's my favorite. Color is what always inspires me first. So I'm always attracted to color first, and then I find design kind of my secondary go-to, but color always. So if the palette invites me in, then that's what I'm drawn to, and that's what inspires me.
So, and as far as favorite colors go, I don't have a favorite. It changes constantly. Ultimately, it's the color that works best with the color next to it. So what's your favorite color?
It would be easier to say what colors I don't like. I just love combining different colors. I love all colors.
My paintings are inspired by Texas and the Texas Hill Country in particular. And my favorite details are the morning glories. It was a challenge to get them just right.
I find myself always having some light gray in my collections, and what I even call that sand gray. This is the very light shade of gray, which is always in my collections. So the question, what inspires me, would fill a complete weekend or so. Everything is inspiring. If you go out to nature, you find things in the flowers or leaves, or if you go to architecture, you find things.
Everything. Horses on a farm inspire me, flowers in a garden, bees in a garden, trees in a forest, the holidays inspire me, everything inspires me, and I just don't have enough time to do all the drawing and painting that I'd like to do.
What drives you to work with fabric?
I love pattern, and I love detailed patterns. Almost the more detailed, the better. So I just love to come up with these tiny little detailed patterns that I can use my pen and ink and paints on.
I've loved fabric since I can remember, and got a job at a fabric store the day I turned 16. Got my driver's license in the morning and put in my application in the afternoon. So I've just loved fabric since I can remember.
And I think it's just all of the fun designs and colors that we get to work with. It just makes it very exciting to sew with them.
I'm here in Tempe, Arizona. It's 100 degrees out. I've got my winter hat on and my gloves just to help introduce our new Christmas collection, Merry and Bright. I've loved fabric my whole life. Before I started quilting and collecting fabric, I collected sheets, blankets, pillowcases, anything, any big chunk of fabric that I could find. Now I just collect fat quarter bundles and yards.
I started buying fabric and I needed to do something with it. So making quilts made a lot of sense. I am really inspired by fabric, obviously, and color. I love color. kind of across the board. I'll take all of it. This collection has the cutest little bee fabric. I pulled a little piece to show you guys here. I think that is just adorable.
There's something about the Victorian era, like the typography and the advertising, that just have so many exciting elements to them. What drives me to work with fabric is just the ability to put so many rich graphics into something that's so fun to manipulate with stitching and sewing and crafting.
I love the colors, I love the textures, I love the prints, and I'm especially drawn to antique prints, antique quilts, antique fabrics, and they just come to life and they tell a story to me. Inspired by Maria Mitchell. At a young age, she was in her 20s, she discovered a comet, and it was named after her, Miss Mitchell's comet.
What is your favorite quilt block, and what about it appeals to you?
All star blocks. I can't make enough star quilts. I have tons of them. Obviously Swoon is one of my most popular patterns, and that block is a star block and one of my very favorites. My favorite detail from this collection is probably the large floral signature print. Actually, it's on the back of this quilt. It is a tonal print, and it is really beautiful and makes a perfect backing.
We're here in the wilds of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And my favorite fabric in this collection is this pink floral, where I'm currently hand quilting this quilt. And it's a big outrageous print. And like all big outrageous prints, it's better when it's cut up into little pieces. Cassie likes this quilt too.
So these are my original pencil sketch that I sent to Moda, and now I'm going to show you the fabric that they made, which is absolutely glorious. Here we are. It's just lovely, tactile, versatile, and the fabric really makes your designs, your drawings come to life, and people can use them and live with them, and that is such a lovely thing to know, that your little drawing is being out there in the world, being enjoyed and having a lovely life.
My husband calls me Bumblebee, so my favorite detail from the collection are the little bees that are tucked into hollyhocks and bees. If something has a lot of wear and tear, it probably has a really good story to tell. So anything that's been well loved and well used like that, I get a lot of inspiration from.
I love finding antique fabric and old fabric and then reinterpreting it for our Moda collections. There's something historical about fabric. It's in all of our lives. It surrounds us every day. Our new fabric collection is Jardin des Fleurs, and it's filled with all the beautiful pale blues, pale grays, pale yellows, pearls, and classic red colors.
My favorite color is blue and red and yellow. I just love color. It seems like everything in Japan has beauty to it, all the way down to their manhole covers. I mean, everything has beautiful designs, and I think that's my biggest inspiration.
You know, you can see one little thing and it will make your mind think of something else. So I think it's really important to just always have your mind open and be looking. If you're going for a walk, I always have my mind open. And my favorite color of all time is anything kind of burnt, like a burnt orange, burnt red, burnt green, probably like has a little gray in there. Maybe that's why I go more towards designing with neutrals like this, is because then I can add a little pop of color. These colors go with about any other color that you want to add to it. And like in this, in the treetops, added just a little pop of red for the cherry.
At my house, red is a neutral. I have a red roof. We have a red cupboard. I wear red. I make quilts with red fabric. Red is the spark in everything. We live in the country, and the changing seasons, the colors. I love to bring a little bit of the outdoors inside with the prints and colors in my fabric.
I love making quilts that I think people will enjoy, that they can make for their loved ones or enjoy themselves. I know that I treasure the quilts that I have from my grandmas, and so I think that's what inspires me. And to be able to design the fabrics that go into people's quilts, that's it. That's just the best.